Purchase products such as the...
Listen, I ran a little bit late here with Eleanor Perry, but I'm gonna make an attempt here with Mr. Flanagan, Bill Flanagan from Esquire, and Bob Harris, right after these words from our sponsors. We have about, what, 12, 14 minutes left, something like that. So we'll put them on here, and if we don't finish, they'll be back tomorrow night. Little do they know we aren't even on. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Well, for example, Tom, did you get a degree in journalism from Marquette?
No.
The Alumni Association says you did.
Now, let me tell you a funny story about that, and it's going to take about 30 seconds of your time.
I've been waiting 4 hours in the other room.
I am 10 credits short of a degree from Marquette University School of Journalism. Yet I am under such pressure to contribute to that school as an alumnus, you cannot believe the fundraising programs in which they want me to come involved. So I finally tell a man, one of the Jesuits, I said, look, Father, I said, why are you coming to me? You never gave me a degree, nothing. I brought glory and honor to the school. I don't have a degree. Why come to me now for the money? He said, let me tell you something. If we find a guy who's the president of a corporation who audited a night course, he is an alumnus of Marquette University, okay? But I've never on a resume said degree, always attended.
You're right. I checked it out in Who's Who and everything else. You've been very honest about it. On the other hand, there's Bob.
What happened with you, Bob?
I told a lie 15 years ago to get into communications.
Did you tell a lie or leave something out? There's a difference.
No, I told a lie. I verbally misrepresented the fact that I said that I had received a PhD in geophysics from Columbia University when in fact I did not. Mm-hmm. And I also said that I had received a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Buffalo, which I did not. I had attended the University of Buffalo, I had attended Columbia University, I had attended the City University of New York City College and Hunter College. I have about 3.5 years of college, undergraduate college credit, mm-hmm. but I do not have a degree from any institution. Mm-hmm. And I lied about that to get into broadcasting.
Because 15 years ago, and it's not that I'm rushing to your defense, but boy, you had to have a degree or they wouldn't even look at you.
I was young, I was immature, it was a foolish thing to do, Tom. I don't defend it at all. I was wrong, and I'm sorry that I did that. And I'm sorry that I disappointed many wonderful people in the New York metropolitan area that grew to enjoy my work, to respect my work.
I will not let you be this tough on yourself, because in the years that I lived in New York and the times that I've visited there since, your weather forecasting has always been first-rate. Your presentations were always innovative. You invented things like the sunburn gauge and the THI, temperature humidity index. You explained that to people. Your work was always first-rate. Its caliber could not be questioned.
Didn't you invent the 50-50 chance of precipitation?
No, I did not. No, okay. No, I did not, Bill.
But you know what I'm saying? I really can't let you scourge yourself too badly, because although you may have misrepresented a college degree, your qualifications for the work in which you've ultimately, the work that you ultimately did, your qualifications were without question.
Well, I thank you for that, and I thank all...
That's spoken as another guy who doesn't have a degree, I might add.
Well, I'm the only guy with a degree here. I think I'll leave.
Tom, as I'm grateful for those remarks, I'm grateful for the support that so many, literally thousands of people have shown in print, in letters to me, in telephone conversations, thousands upon thousands of people, not only in the New York metropolitan area, but all over the United States. Mail from justices, court justices, from doctors and lawyers and dentists and Indian chiefs. I mean, it came in from all across society, and people saying to me one thing: you did something wrong, mister. We know it, and you know it, and we're glad you said that you did something wrong, that you're sorry for it. But we will take a man on his ability also, not necessarily credentials only. The credibility and capability versus credentialism. That's a very important question, Tom. It's much bigger than Bob Harris is ever going to be. Mm-hmm. And a lot bigger than a lot of any individuals. Mm-hmm. It's a big question. It raises the question about a paper chase in this country in colleges. People go, listen, I was there, a lot of other people have been there and gone through college, and no, right, Bill?
Yeah,
I mean,
Bob, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What about all those kids who did go to Columbia and did go to the University of Buffalo and paid very hard-earned bucks to get their degrees? You ripped them off. Wouldn't it be nice if you turned around and made a donation to the school, at least, to pay them back for the degree that you've misrepresented?
Well, I'll tell you something. I have been advised, and I think it's a damn good idea. I hope that with the earnings that I'm beginning to receive again since I was fired by the New York Times, and by the way, Tom, I am still not employed by the New York Times.
Oh, you are not?
I'm sorry, I'm not employed. I wish I were.
Well, it's their loss.
But I'm not. But I am negotiating with another newspaper. I would like to get into the financial position, Bill, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, that if I get to a financial position again in the near future, that I would like to set up a scholarship program for somebody in the pursuit of a degree of meteorology who can't afford it, and I would like to be able to help that individual at some institution.
Why are you waiting? You've already used the credentials.
Why am I waiting? Because
I'm
out of the
no
income
one has
now.
any money when they go to
I'm out
school.
of the
Wait a
income.
minute. How,
Okay,
who
I'll wait a
paid
minute.
for you to go to Marquette?
My old man?
Right. And was he very pleased at the time? I mean, he had to scrape and scratch.
Yes, he did. I let him down. I sure did. But in the back of my mind, I said, what is all this fuss about? Because the only reason I'm short is because of two professors who were victims of petty jealousy, who were victims of prejudice, and who were victims of their own suspicions, who denied me passing grades in 2 courses. Now, I don't want to go into this at this time, okay? But let me tell you something. There are a lot of kids who flunk out of school not because they're failing students, but because there's a personality conflict with a professor, because grading is done on a curve, and there's a certain quota of Fs, and kids get trapped in that. I mean, we all know that.
Okay, I hit a hot spot for you.
Yeah, you hit a real, not a hot spot, but a thing where I'm saying, what do we do? Shoot the wounded?
No,
do we shoot this man?
No, not at all. Bob is a terrific guy.
What was the purpose of your article? Was it to ferret out unqualified people and have them fired from their positions?
It's morally wrong to lie.
Yes, it is.
Period.
Yes, it is.
Okay?
That's right.
Now, there's a great deal of effort on the part of students and on the part of professors to quantify education.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to demean that, to make it easy to get away with something you really haven't done, cheats this whole society.
Yes, it does. You're absolutely right.
I didn't get away with anything. Let's put this into. I was publicly humiliated. My family didn't know about this, William. I lost my income totally. I was fired from 2 of the biggest companies in New York, on the verge of losing my career completely. I didn't beat any system. I don't go around telling anybody I beat the system. Hell, I didn't beat any system. I lost. And everybody out there right now who's thinking about doing something like this should take a lesson from what happened to me. I lied.
I want you to say it's not a smart thing to do. If some kid is watching this program right now
and thinking about putting a phony credential...
why should I bother busting my tail to get through school?
That's right.
If I can fake it the way Bob Harris did.
No, Bill. I will say that, and I will lead any band of people to say that. I believe that's absolutely true. It was wrong, and I don't say that this is any way for anybody else to proceed this way. It's wrong, and I admit to that. And the only reason I'm being given a second chance is because of public support, because I did prove my capability to do the job. And some columnist, Tom, in the East, named Marvin Kittman.
Marvin Kittman of Newsday.
Came out and said that I
read the column.
That the only thing that I was guilty of...
Would that he would write as nicely about me as he wrote about me.
Well, he's a tough man.
Yes, he is.
He's a tough guy. And I don't know Marvin Kittman, and I still haven't met him. But he wrote a piece, and he finished it by saying, the only thing Bob Harris is guilty of was impersonating himself. That's a hell of a thing to say from somebody else. I didn't say that. I impersonated somebody doing my field.
You're a great weatherman. You're a pro. You know the business. Education doesn't stop at the age of 21 with a piece of paper. You learned your trade, and you're the best. I grant you that. But what is the topic here is misrepresentation.
In other words, don't misrepresent college degrees or credentials on applications for employment or on anything else. Don't lie. Okay. I'm trying to find a way out of this because the clock is really working against me here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Figured that.
Yep.
All right.
Well, we're going to have a scene during the commercial here, folks, but we'll be right back after these messages. There's going to be a scene. I can promise you there will be a scene here. There's going to be a scene on this show tonight. I can't stand these scenes.
Good morning. We are Sister Sledge, and we'll be your hosts this Friday night on the Midnight Special, following The Tonight Show on NBC. Our guests will be Dream Express, David Naughton, Olivia Newton-John, Al Stewart, the Village People, Norda Michael Walden, and Wolfman Jack.
And remember that Sister Sledge, Village People, Olivia Newton-John, Friday night following the Tonight Show on NBC.
I'm a wisp of smoke. I started here from a fire in your basement. I could sneak up on you, and before you knew it, a smoke detector. Maybe no one will notice me here in the living room. This time I'm in the hallway, and you're asleep in the bedroom. Oh, it'll never amount to anything if you have smoke detectors in the house. And that's a good idea, don't you think?
I'd like to share something with you. These are the sky hunters, the top of the line in the bird world. The eagles, the hawks, and the owls. Not too many years ago, many people thought these birds were the enemy, killers of livestock and game. Now we know their hunting benefits nature and man by helping to control destructive increases in populations of rodents and other small animals. Despite persecution, pollution, and loss of habitat, America's birds of prey still cling fiercely to a way of life that symbolizes wild freedom. Our skies would seem empty without them. All the more reason to remember that all eagles, hawks, and owls in this country are protected by law. I think you can see why.
My thanks to Bill Flanagan and Bob Harris. I know your time was all too short here tonight, and I appreciate your understanding that. Mr. Flanagan is a super writer for Esquire magazine and has many degrees, and Bob Harris is a damn good weatherman in New York. Thank you all for watching. Good night from Los Angeles, and have a good weekend, everybody.